Welcome to Sunny Stampin' Studio. Today we're going to be working on a little Punch Pal elf. Now I'm calling him Naughty because he kind of reminds me of a little character from a show that used to be called Naughty. And you see him over here, he's just kind of leaning over the little stack of presents, and we're going to be making him with the Ornament punch. Now we're going to film this in a couple of videos just because it's a little easier to show you all the detail and in a longer period of time than in the 10 minutes that YouTube normally allows us. So to start out, we are going to be punching out with our Ornament punch a Blush Blossom full piece, a Real Red full piece, and 2 half pieces, one in Real Red, one in Old Olive. I just use whatever scraps I tend to have around. Now to get the half pieces, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Ornament punch, I'm going to take a scrap strip of cardstock, and I'm going to slide it in. Hold on, there we go. And punch. And that will give me my little half piece. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to do the face up. Over here we have our Blush Blossom, which is my absolute favorite for doing any kind of people or skin colors. So I take my sponge dauber, I ink it up with some creamy caramel, which is a great shadowing color for the Blush Blossom. And I am going to lightly sponge around the whole piece, the whole face. I'm just going to get a little more, starting off the paper once again and then moving on in a quick circular motion, not pushing down too hard because you can still get marks even with a sponge dauber when you push down too hard. Okay. And then I'm going to take another sponge dauber and I'm going to use a little bit of the Regal Rose Stampin' Pastel, and I'm going to do his cheeks up. So starting off the paper just like I would for an ink and moving on in a gentle circular motion. I want his cheeks to be really soft and rosy. I don't want it to look overly done. You've got to have jolly little cheeks. I'll just put a little touch more, I think. I want it to be nice, soft, airbrush look to it. Okay. There, so his little cheeks are ready. So I'm going to set them aside for now, and I'm going to start off to make the base of the hat. So I take my full piece, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my 1 3/4 circle punch, and I'm going to put this piece inside the circle punch and use it to cut out his hat. Now I just center it in such a way, what is showing is going to be how much of my face will show. I don't want to take off too much of the hat. I need to have something in there so I can kind of turn it to the side to see how much I have sticking out. And then, oh, it's a little crooked. I don't want a crooked face. Try to center as much as I can. There we go. And I just pop it out. And then I have my hat piece. Okay, so we're going to sponge up our little hat pieces. For the Real Red, I am going to use the Burgundy, Bravo Burgundy, and I am going to darken up just one side. I don't need to darken up both sides. This is going to be my shadow, of course. Just deepen that a little bit on the edge here. Okay, set that aside. Do my next piece. Okay, that's looking nice. There, just gotta blend that out a little bit. Set that one aside. And then for my Old Olive, I'm going to use the Garden Green ink. Now you can see the Old Olive that I have is a textured cardstock. I keep all my scraps from everything I do because they're just perfect for at least one of my punches. So I know that eventually I will use it and I hate to waste. Okay. Put that one over there. So now we can assemble it over our face. I am going to take my Tombow multi-adhesive. I'm going to flip my hat to the non-sponge side and I'm going to lay a thin little strip of glue. And I'm just going to pop it onto the top of his head. And there's his little elf hat. Start it up. Okay. Perfect. Oh, and try not to shift with your fingers before it dries. Okay. Okay, sometimes this happens. There. A little too quick to start touching. Okay, so I have the first piece done. I'm going to put my old olive next. I decide where I want it. And then I flip it over, hold it in place, take my pencil and just draw a line to where my adhesive will go. I remove the old olive piece. I just put a thin little outline of glue. And I put my old olive piece over, flip it over again, and just make sure I'm happy with its placement. I can shift it while the glue is still wet. Okay. And then you're going to do the same thing to the third and last piece. You're going to decide where you want it. You're going to flip it over. Use your pencil to mark the line. This will just make sure that we don't have glue where it shouldn't be. I don't like to have excess glue squishing out. Okay, and then I just match this back to the line, flip it over for placement, and then let it set for a couple seconds. Okay, so you see we have our little elf with his hat on. Still missing something though. He needs to have a little bit of highlighting done before I am happy with them. So I'm going to take my gel pen and I'm just going to add a little bit over here, a little bit on each of the ridges, and then 3 little dots on each cheek. I just think it looks really cute to have that. Okay, so there you have the face, and I'm going to be back in the next video to show you the eyes, the nose, and the little pom-pom and hands. Okay?